So over the last month, I've dropped pretty much all my side projects that I've been working on. I feel like I've been doing these kind of updates videos more often. And I think part of the reason I've been doing that is trying to pinpoint what exactly is going on. As I mentioned in the very beginning, I've dropped many of the side projects that I've been working on in the last month. And some of you probably have some ideas of what may be going on. I think I may know of some of those ideas, and they've been sprinkled into my videos that I've created over the last year. But in this video, I kind of want to do a deeper dive into, some of the major events that has happened over the last year, and to also give you a picture of what I was doing over the last year, because I feel like I haven't really created a lot of videos to talk about that. Or maybe I have, it's just a lot. Anyways, but let me take you a bit further back beyond the last year to give you an idea of baseline. So January 2018 is kind of where it first started. And that was when I started my MPH program in January 2018. And at that time, I was working a full-time job, and it was actually in the middle of a go live. So it was a really busy time, and I was pulling mad hours. And so I was doing that, but then I started my MPH program, so part-time school, and it was okay. It was busy, I was trying to manage, but I was doing okay. During that time, I was also very involved with many different professional organizations, volunteering on different committees, and doing side projects as well. In addition to that, I was also, of course, doing YouTube and making weekly videos. And it was manageable. It wasn't too bad. There were days, if you look back to some of those old videos, where I was pulling all-nighters to keep up with my schoolwork because of the exams, and there were those busy times, but again, manageable. And everything kind of changed June 29th, 2019, which is about a year ago. And that was when I started my internship at the HHS/ONC to fulfill the practicum requirement of my MPH program. And so this is a part-time internship that I was now doing in addition to everything I just described in Washington, DC. And I actually ended up enjoying it so much because of the amount of impact that I found out I can have, that I stayed on to do my capstone with the ONC, and that ended pretty much when I graduated, to fulfill the capstone requirement. And that was one of the defining factors of my life over the last year, in which I was working a full-time job, doing part-time school, and then doing the part-time internship in addition to all these other responsibilities. And, I feel as though things always happen all at once. When it rains, it pours. And during that time, my internship at the ONC, I ended up meeting many different connections. One of those connections led to an amazing opportunity to author a textbook chapter for a nursing informatics textbook. It's a very amazing opportunity, and I was very close to passing it up. In many ways, I feel like I should have, but I didn't. Hindsight looking back now, because we're about to wrap it up, I'm glad I took the opportunity, but probably not, wasn't a wise decision for my mental well-being. But I had the opportunity to co-author this textbook chapter with another informatics pharmacist, Frankie, in Singapore. And so we've been doing that. We've been working together on this every week since last year, and we're in the final stages of pretty much submitting this textbook chapter. And last but certainly not least, one of the major projects that I worked on was launching my own company, which I co-founded with 3 other amazing individuals, Beju, Tony, and David. And we were working on this and talking about the ideas, launched it in December 2019, and have been meeting weekly to discuss various strategies and ideas for how to bring our idea and vision to life. Because of all that, I pretty much had no time for family, friends, or any type of social life. And because I believe that it's really important that once you sign up for certain obligations, you should make sure you can meet those deadlines and meet those project expectations. So I set some guidelines for myself to make sure I can do it. And there are 3 things that I kind of did to make it work. The first of which was no social media use during the busiest of times. Especially when it was a major project, an exam, a quiz, or some major family function, I would always make sure I turn off all social media. I deleted social media from everywhere, my phones, my computers, and would never log in. And I did this for about 2 to 3 months time periods, and the only way you could reach me was during texts and calls. The second thing I did was no dating. I went on a couple dates in the early phases of this, and I quickly realized that it was not going to work. Dating ended up being more stressful than I thought, and I just realized that it would be very unfair to actually spend the time to get to know someone or to date at all because I just was too busy. So I made the decision to pretty much do no dating, not have any dating apps until I graduated from school, when my internship would also end, and that was May 2020. And that's what I did. The last thing I did, which has been one of the most amazing things so far that I still use now, kind of, is routines. To make sure I get everything done, I pretty much scheduled every single event or activity down to the 10-minute mark to make sure these things got done. And I would spend a lot of time to plan these things out to make sure everything was met. And to give you an idea what my routines were like, I'll share what my typical day was like. It varied a little bit because I was moving a lot during this time. I was pretty much in a new Airbnb every 1 to 2 months. So most of it changed due to my commute, depending on how far I was from my internship. But pretty much my day usually would start at 5 a.m. 5 to 6 a.m. was getting up, getting ready, eating breakfast, and commuting into work, which would take anywhere from 15 to 50 minutes on the metro. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. would be doing my internship work. From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. would be my full-time job. I would eat dinner from 6 to 6:30, sometimes 6 to 7 if I needed a little bit more of a break. And then from 6:30/7 to 10 p.m. I would work on school. It could be quizzes, it could be group projects, it could be lectures, whatever I had to do for school. And then from 10 to 11, I would go home, get ready for bed, and start the day all over again. I did some other things in the routine as well to just take care of myself, and that was every Wednesdays and Saturdays, I would go to the gym to make sure my personal fitness was good. And then every Sunday, I would meal prep, so days would be efficient. I wouldn't really have to think about food as much. And then weekends would pretty much be catching up on any type of work that I had left over, whether it was for work, school, or internship. And that pretty much summarizes what my life looked like over the last year. And now, come to this point, I am at a bit of a strange fork in the road, if you will. So as of now, it's been about a month since I graduated. I don't have my internship anymore, don't have schoolwork anymore, and I've had an abundance of time. The problem is, I have the exact same feeling I did back in May 2018 when I completed that significant milestone in my career, and I couldn't shake the feeling of apathy. And that's really what defines me right now. Every single day I have this feeling of non-motivation. I don't even know if that's a word, but I don't feel motivated, I don't feel creative, and I just feel apathetic. Because of those feelings, I dropped everything. All the organizations I was involved in, all the different committees. One that comes to mind that I was a little torn about was ASHP SOAP at SAG. I was en route to be chair this coming year, and I ended up declining it. I just didn't feel as though I needed to continue this path of being so involved. And so I dropped that. There were 4 other organizations I dropped out of. All the committees I've dropped out of or haven't been very involved. And I think one of the most disappointing ones is Pharmacy Informatics Academy. We set on this vision to train the next generation of informatics pharmacists. And somewhere, somehow, my motivation in the last month just wasn't there. In the entire last year, all I could think about was all these different projects I wanted to work on, creating content for Pharmacy Informatics Academy. We're still doing some of it, by the way, but I lost a lot of that motivation, and I decided that it'd probably be best if I just step back. Now, on the bright side, to be a bit more positive, there has been some positivity, and one of which is taking a step back from all the different side projects. One of the most important areas, and probably the primary area that I've been focusing on, is my personal well-being and personal development. There's a couple areas here that I've been working on and investing time into. The first of which is dating. I forgot how much effort it requires to date, and I've been in the dating scene now again for about a month. Probably the worst time to date because it's COVID, but it's been interesting. I have enjoyed the individuals I've met and have enjoyed the dating experience in some ways, for what it's worth, in COVID. But that's something that has been interesting. Maybe I'll share more in the future about that. Secondly, another thing that I've been spending a lot of time on is my personal health and fitness. I've been doing exercise and meal prep over the last year, so that's not new. The only difference is I'm not going to the gym because all the gyms are closed, and I'm just doing exercises at home, which is fine. But the other thing that I'm also doing is making sure I invest in my mental well-being. Physical health is important, but so is your mental health, if not more important. And one of the things that has helped me keep sane, if anything, is I meditate on a daily basis. Usually in the morning, I still wake up super early, 6:30 or 7. At least I try to. It's been a little difficult in the last month, but when I do, I wake up early, meditate in the morning for about 10 minutes, sometimes twice a day, and I found that to be very beneficial. And then also there's my family and friends. I haven't got to everyone yet, but I have been spending a lot more time interacting with and developing and investing in my relationships with my friends and family. Whether it's texting more, calling more, even video chatting more, I've been spending more time with my friends and family, and that has been one of the most rewarding things, despite my lack of creativity that I've been feeling lately. And of course, it'd be weird to say I had 0 side projects, right? And during this time, I actually launched a second YouTube channel, which I've spoken about before. Originally, it was a dating channel that was meant to complement my dating life. However, that's morphed over time, as I've mentioned before, into something a lot larger. And that is good, because the things that are most meaningful to me are things that can impact a lot of individuals. And in this case, it's a YouTube channel called Subtle Asian Voices. Do give it a glance if you get a chance. where we talk about different topics that are important in the Asian American community. So I've been spending a lot of time on that and also bonding with the individuals quite a bit that have been helping with the channel. Everyone has been amazing. They bring up a lot of great topics and discussion points, and it's just been an awesome community to be a part of and to help build this channel with them. All right, guys, so that's kind of it for this video. Shout out to you guys who stayed to the end. And actually a big thank you to many of you who have sent personal messages, which I haven't responded to, but really encouraging me to stay on the path, given all the different videos I've released about the stresses that I've been going through. So really big shout out to you guys, because you're the real MVPs. But I hope to be back on this content grind soon. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.